great defense, and you got a guy waiting for him.
And of course, Nick Nurse is going to say, this is assertiveness, this is aggressiveness, this is what we want. And it's like, yeah, but now you're not activating the rest of your offense, and this is not how basketball works. Alrighty, we got plays. So
on this first one, which was his first 2 points, this was by design, but this is just what I talk about when we talk about Siakam as just a featured guy, and they run so many of these, and yeah, he's going to score, but this isn't efficient basketball. Like, this is inefficient basketball at its finest. But we can run it back from the very beginning to see, and there's movement, right? There's down screen here. There's a dribble handoff here, which again, there's a pick and roll here that clears out this whole area for Siakam.
But look at Jaren Jackson Jr. just kind of like gapping
Cheating
in the middle, leaving Scottie Barnes open in the corner. Right, John Morant is not like, he's not hugging up. He's playing Juancho, and you've got Christian Coloco, right, sort of sucking up that defender into the paint because he can't space out. How much easier does this offensive possession look for Siakam if Coloco comes out, pops out, if he actually had any gravity out there at all, right? And Scottie's a better shooter. Dylan Brooks is not like OG Anunoby. He's a really good defender, but he's not like, he can't stay in front of Siakam. If Siakam wants to dust him, he would dust him. The problem is that you've got Steven Adams there, you've got Jaren Jackson there, you've got all your passing lanes blocked out, and you got no shooters. Like, that's a problem. Like, look how tight he's playing, and look at that. That's what I mean. And there's a second line of defense, and that's my problem with this entire offense. Whether whoever initiates it, whether it's Scottie, whether it's OG, whether it's Siakam, they're always seeing that second line of defense, and they're always having all their passing lanes cut out because players don't move. Look at the movement. Look at Steven Adams right now, and look at Christian Coloco. You're playing 4-on-5, right?
The problem too here is that Scottie doesn't finish his 45 cut, which is supposed to end up for him in the corner, and Siakam moves too fast as well. So that's easy for a guy like John Morant to actually cheat because it's so congested in here that this is just bad offensive schematic. Like, this is terrible. And he just runs into a wall of guys because there's zero fucking spacing. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but this is just bad basketball. And you see this, like, that's not efficient basketball. Like, that's what they want you to do. And this is why I tear my hair off watching this, because this is just so bad,
I agree.
Here we see, once again, as earlier, this is a little bit better because now we have a guy as an outlet pass, which is OG, which is the right guy that you want to be stationary there. But it's a little bit, again, pound. Siakam is 18th in the league in usage rate. This is why. Because he pounds the ball a lot. I mean, goddamn. And that's the shot you get, right? Which, again, it's just so disappointing to just see this over and over.
Yeah,
and
like
over.
unless you shoot like 58 to 60% on those types of shots and you have a favorable matchup, like,
Which
you should not be relying on mid-range jumpers as a 2022 as a part of your offense. I think Siakam has watched probably a lot of Kobe and a lot of Stackhouse, and he's admitted so much that he doesn't watch a ton of NBA basketball today, and I think it shows.
But when I talk about you got to get into your bag, this is the most basic handle in the world. It doesn't get Dylan going backwards or sideways. He stays there because he knows that he has a back line of support, right? So he's forcing him, like, he wants him to shoot this shot. Like, that's the difference between, even guys like DeMar DeRozan, like Devin Booker, like Chris Paul, like, those guys create separation. There's no separation created here, like, at all. He's right there, and Siakam falls backwards, god diggity, all the time. Here we go. So we see a little pick and roll. So this is fine. This is a type of single side pick and roll or to clear an entire side for him, I'm not mad at this, okay? Because now this gives them a live triple threat, right? With an entire single side, with an entire single empty side to attack. Now there's less clunk here. Now he has an avenue to attack, which he probably will without even watching this. See what I'm saying? So now he had the angle to attack. I'm not mad at that. Like that's good play design. The other stuff where you have an entire back line to back you up, everyone's spread out. There's better spacing here. Like this is better offense, but they don't typically do this. So yeah, again, the process or the end result isn't great, but the process of it was fine. Here we go. Scottie Barnes again. Oh, Scottie's like, nah, I'm not doing that too fast.
Are we? We're Jeffed out in time. Okay, let's do one more Siakam
Okay.
possession, and then we go to hopefully some better
Okay.
offense because my eyes are bleeding.
Right. So once again, they clear out the side.
Hmm.
Scottie recognized it, high basketball IQ. He said, "Okay, let me pass it back out and cut, or, set a pick here."
Yeah, and that's I think like look, if there are some young hoopers who unfortunately are watching this team, and honestly, one of my biggest fears as I watch this team play is, oh my God, there's a 4-year-old learning how to play basketball by watching the NBA and watching the Raptors every night. When you pass, you get off, you move somewhere, do something, cut after you pass, cut, V cut, set a screen. You gotta move. You can't just pass and stand there like an idiot. Like, and you definitely can't stand there at the top of the, doing that thing that Siakam and Trent like to do. You can't do that. Like that's how you kill an offense. Um, that's I guess like that's Boucher made that.
No, that was Siakam.
Okay.
And again, Siakam in transition is solid, right?
Yes,
But
he's good.
when the defense is set is when you see his limitations as a ball handler, as a guy that creates space, because he's not very good at that.
Yeah, and I mean,
Um,
like, look at how the Memphis Grizzlies are guarding him. This is not the way we guard stars. They're guarding him one on one, basically. They just have
yeah,
this. They have the help defender behind him. Like, I wanna get around this myth that Siakam is double teamed all the time. He's not. There are some teams that just choose to play him straight up with a second defender there in emergencies. Guess what? That's kind of how you play
and
all players.
yes, and he's running into these guys. So if he was a player that created space and he sees all this is where you step back and you get and again, guys like De'Aaron Fox, who right here would already shooken them off and gone to his left and
Okay,
shot a
there's
shot.
14 seconds left on the clock. You know what? You know what I would rather Siakam do? Go back for a second. I just want to like I don't want to just shit on the guy. I want to explain what I wish he would do. Okay, right now I would like him to pass to Chris Boucher. Okay,
Hmm. Look at his hands are up. He's like,
yeah,
bro,
I would
that's
like him to. So I would like him to pass to Chris Boucher. Then I want him to go and set a screen on Jaren Jackson Jr.
yep. You read
Let
my
Scottie
mind.
Barnes float up to the top and dive to the basket and pray Boucher finds me. That is what good offense should look like, not what's happening here. And is there a chance that Boucher is just going to launch the shot? Sure. But trust me, that shot
That's a
that
better
Boucher would
shot,
launch
yeah,
from the corner is probably a better shot than this.
than this. Yes. Great point there. It's tough. Okay. Um, but this is what the Raptors do. So here we see actual action, right?
Look at
On
Malachi, trying his best to set a pick. And then, I
yes,
mean,
this okay. So
OG's going to set a pick here, double pick, just
God,
misses
he
it.
just ignores every. Look at
Gary
Trent.
Trent Jr. said, I did all of that.
Okay, let me see. Let's start from the beginning. This is good basketball if he would have passed it. So we see weak side action here, a double stagger screen to get a Gary on a curl coming up, and he says, "No, I'm gonna wave you off, and I'm going into another guy."
But in fairness, what Gary did actually did plow the middle for him, right? In a lot of
Yes,
ways, he just snow
yeah,
plowed it because he draws all that attention. And you know what? Even though it didn't work out for Gary, if Gary ever sees this, please keep doing this because this actually does help
yeah.
your offense. Because look at how much more open that paint looks right now because Gary and OG. Now look at this. Now I want to point to something. Look at Malachi and OG right now.
Yep.
Have you ever seen that shit ever in your life? Two guys spotting up in the same corner. It is so rare to do that. And your two best shooters on the court.
Well, again, that's because Siakam went a little bit too fast and it didn't give them time to
Yes.
actually, come here. So this was designed for Gary
Yeah, this
to
should have
like
been a dribble
shoot this.
handoff for Gary
Yeah.
and dive to the basket for Siakam. And Gary either passes to Siakam or
Or just pass it
he
out
goes
here
or
or
he
a shot.
rejects it. He goes
Yeah.
himself and then spots and then finds someone spotting to the corner.
Right.
Like I think there's so many interesting ways that you could use these players that to continuously use them this stupid way. It's almost like,
Look
are
at
you
this.
tanking on purpose?
Three guys, right?
Oh my
Three guys
gosh.
in line here.
Yeah.
He finally passes out and great kudos to Gary that uses gravity, his shooting gravity here to actually pass it back out because they know his tendencies are to shoot the ball.
But
So he
I think it's great that he passed, but he shouldn't have passed there.
I think he should have passed
I
there.
would
I
have liked to
mean,
see him
it's
drive
a
and
single
then
pass.
kick. I would have liked to see him drive, attack, and then kick. He kind of danced around and just sort of wasted time there. And honestly, Siakam, like go back on that for a sec. There's a much better option right now than Siakam taking that shot,
Okay.
right? That's OG in the
Okay.
corner. And if this is Scotty right now, this pass is going right over John Morant's head.
Right. So Scotty would have attacked a little bit, stopped here, and
And then
then
passed to OG in the
yeah.
corner, and then allowed for OG to swing back to Pascal. So now look, guys, when you have high IQ basketball players, if this was Sacramento Kings 2003,
Mhm.
Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, super smart players, right? Mike Bibby. Or if this was currently the Golden State Warriors, or
Mhm.
basically any team that functions at a high level of basketball IQ, here's how this play should have broken down for me. Number one, as you go back, so Gary Trent Jr. catches the ball. On the catch, no hesitation, drive. Okay? Drive, suck in Dylan Brooks. Then you either pass out to OG, who fakes the shot and passes to a wide open Siakam, or if that angle is cut off, you pass to Siakam, who then quickly swings it back to OG, or if that pass is gone, then Siakam would reverse it and sort of do a ball reversal and find Malachi in the corner. There's a way better shot at the end of that chart of passes than Pascal passes to Gary. Gary dances in the same spot for 12 for 2 seconds, passes back to Pascal. There's a reason he's open, guys. It's the
So
same reason that Boucher is open. They want him taking threes.
So this is good play design as well, which again clears it out, gives him better spacing to attack Dylan Brooks. Nothing fancy, just puts his head down, creates space with his football mentality, and he just pulls up, uses a 6'9" frame, and he gets it. Like that's good play design by the Raptors there. See, those shots I'm not mad at. Like that's within the flow of the offense. Here we go, and this is not within the flow. That's bad basketball again. He gets a little bit overzealous at times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where uh so this was supposed to be a dribble handoff and OG. I don't know who rejected this, but look how they're playing him though. Like they know what's coming. And this is Bane at this time. He drives, great defense, and you got a guy waiting for him, which is Stevo, and that's a great contest. So yeah, this is just bad, stagnant basketball. Here we go again. No movement, no movement, no movement, no movement. I'm sorry, bro. He's not a top 15 player. Like this
He
is not
is.
what top 15 players do. No, no,
He's
he's not.
borderline, man. He is borderline. Look at all the players around him. You had Kem Birch right there. Can't make a layup to save his freaking life. Unfortunately, right now, he's just falling off a cliff. He's playing, like, in the worst system ever. Look, I guarantee you, if I coach this team tomorrow, Siakam's better. Like, that's just me being totally an
He
asshole. And
missed him though. I mean, this is top 15 players make this pass right here.
I
Scotty,
agree.
and, and,
Okay.
and you know this. Scotty
Yeah.
Barnes make this pass with his eyes closed.
I know that. I
I
know that.
mean,
I know that. I know that. I know that. I
it's
know that. I know
like,
that. But also, Scotty, like, I mean, Pascal's played with Kem enough to know that somehow Kem would screw that up too. So, yeah.
but either way, that's not
The,
his problem no more. It's about making the right basketball play, right?
I agree. I agree.
Um,
There's a lack of trust here. I'll agree with that. Yep.
Okay, so let me see what Siakam does. Siakam, I get it. The offense is shit, but this is also his choice is just keep just going into traffic. Like he doesn't care.
He watched Allen Iverson highlights to like really, really get himself charged up before every game.
Let me see. Yeah, there's
Oh my god, that is
Jesus.
just
That's a bailout. But let me see.
yeah.
This
He
is
gets bailed out a lot to
in
his
in
and
transition.
look at OG
That's straight
trailing.
up too.
Look at OG trailing. Look at Malachi in the corner,
Look at poor
wide open.
Gary. Gary's like, please, please, we're shooting buddies. Um, and he's like, I'm
Dude,
gonna
I
go
think
back on defense.
the obvious play right here is if Siakam
Malachi.
had any no, the obvious play to me would be back to OG
Or
and then
back,
OG to
yeah.
Al and then OG to
But it's not
Malachi.
a bad play to go to Malachi here either. To like kick out to him. Like
I think the
if we go
angle
back.
is a little bit weird because he drove left. Had
Yeah.
he driven right, yes. But right now there's like three like John Morant long as hell. Steven Adams, like there's a lot of length there. That could be a disrupted pass, and it could also be an off-target pass. And I don't like passing to corner shooters when they're wide open if the pass isn't clean. Do you know what I mean? They have to catch it and shoot it like right away. I don't want them gathering and trying to reach for it awkwardly. You'll
But at
often see
this
that.
but at this point, there's 20 seconds left on the clock, and he's going way too fast.
He
I get
always
it.
goes too fast.
I get it. They're down 21 points, and he's trying to hero himself into this,
Yeah.
but this is just bad basketball.
I really think the obvious play here is OG. I really do. And then let OG make the pass or OG like because it's like when you suck in that much defensive
Jesus
attention, you need to get
Christ,
off of it. You need to exploit
there's
that.
21. He doesn't look at anybody. Um, like pass it here to Scotty. Scotty kicks out to OG, or he just goes up for a layup. But Siakam is like, nope, I'm going between five guys. Again, I don't care about the result. Like he made the
I don't
shot,
either.
but that doesn't That doesn't mean it was a good efficient shot. This is a terrible possession.
And teams know this about him,
Yes.
right? They know he's going to do this every single night, so they play him for it, and they don't play the shooters. But I guarantee you, if that was Jokic, or and you know, ironically, this is kind of like basketball karma. You think about it, right? It is a lot like karma,
Look at
because
this.
right now they're not playing you for the pass because they know that when you get into this mode, you're never going to pass. And that's what the scouting report says. So you don't make the right basketball plays. They play you to score all the time. Now your scoring efficiency goes down because you're not a threat to pass in certain situations. I think this is just the basketball god saying, if you're going to play like a dumbass, we're going to guard you like a dumbass. I think that's just how it kind of plays out.
Jesus.
Can we please go to the Dowtin possessions in the fourth quarter where
I'm
like I
sorry, bro.
can't watch any more of this. Like it's just the same single play over and over
One
and
more. Let me see.
no.
Oh, this is the six. This is when he came back, right?
Do you know that's okay? Any cinephiles out there? Leo, you're a film director, right? So like,
Yeah.
you watch Clockwork Orange?
I haven't now.
They force him to watch that shit with his eyes closed in that machine, and I'm just like,
Mm.
that's how it feels like right now. This is what it feels like. This feels like Clockwork Orange. Like I'm being subjected to the worst basketball.
Oh my God. Like he did this shit all look, there's three guys now, but he doesn't even care to kick it out to Scotty, bro. What are you doing? And Scotty's like, why even give? You know what I'm saying? Like this disrupts chemistry. Like so when I read on our Facebook groups on the Raptors groups, there's something wrong with this team. This is a lot to do with that something wrong because teammates hate this shit. I don't care who you are. This
Agreed.
is not good basketball. This disrupts chemistry. This rubs guys off the wrong way because they bust their ass to get a stop. And you have a one-man hero trying to literally will his team back when he's not that good and that skilled to actually do that. Like he's not that explosive. He's long.
I don't even care if he was good enough to do it. It's just it's such a lack of trust in your teammates to do this. And I've never seen Luca play like this. I see Luca take a lot of tough shots, but they're good shots. Like Luca's shot diet is freaking awesome.
And
Like
Luca would have hand, bam, like to Scotty right here, like some crazy ass
easy,
shit.
easy, and that's why
Like
the Mavericks offense works, and that's why this offense doesn't. It's just
doesn't
because
stink
he
because
doesn't.
he's not. Again, bro, I hate to again. If we just think about just the top 10 players, right? And then there's like 5 guys that can be in the top 10. This guy isn't for me.
No, and
Because he's
nor should
not.
he be. I mean, he's firmly ahead of guys like Bradley Beal, Trey Young, in my opinion. I mean, you can say offensively, Trey Young gives you a lot more, but I think the two-way package, he's kind of in the Jalen Brown conversation, you know? Like, and
Jalen Brown's better than him.
mm,
Jalen Brown's better than him.
I feel like if the Raptors swapped Jalen Brown for Pascal Siakam, they'd be in the exact
Jesus.
same space right now. And Jalen Brown would be putting up the exact same numbers. I don't think Jalen Brown can go 1-on-5 the way Siakam does every night and put up 40, 50 points. Like, I just don't. Trust me, I've seen
I know,
he has
but
a lot of the same weaknesses. He's just a lot smaller.
this is like this is just bad. Like all he's doing, he's bumping into him.
Mhm.
There's no moves, there's no grace whatsoever to come back and shift, change speeds. Like guys that
But
live
where is he
again,
supposed to? Okay, like right now, what is the biggest issue right now? To me, the biggest issue is Scottie Barnes. Has
right. That's the
Steven
right
Adams
play.
there.
Right. Like that. Okay, so we're saying two different things. The right play is to kick it out or pass it. But if you're going to do this shit, which he did all game, okay,
But why is
this is
Scottie
a
posting there? Like, are you gonna
right,
post? Like, okay, Scottie posting John Morant when they missed him. Yeah, I was mad too.
right. Me too.
But
Yeah.
posting up Steven Adams, why? He's one of the best post defenders in the NBA, and he's way bigger than you, and he's stronger than you, and taller than you. You have no advantages there. I do not understand if Scottie Barnes is as smart as I think he is. I don't understand why he would ever post up Steven Adams.
Let me see.
It just doesn't make sense. I know he could do. He did it to Zubats, and that's Zubats is a different animal. And maybe this is youth and inexperience. And the next time he sees Steven Adams, he's going to attack him differently because that's sort of how being young in the NBA works. You see, especially guys when you're seeing them on
Okay.
the West. But
So
like,
to be fair, to give context to what you said about Scotty, Scotty was cutting to the basket because John Morant's head was turned. Um, so that happened, right? Then he wants to post, but Siakam doesn't even see that he's there, and that's part of the problem. To where he don't know that he's posting, and he just goes right. Like he goes already, makes that move, and it's too late. It's just too late.
as you say that, I think I know why Scotty was posting. I
Tell
think
me.
he was posting to pass.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, like, he's not
I
gonna
think
go
he was
over him.
posting to attack Adams, get a sliver of leverage through quickness, and then immediately pass out because the minute like a player like Siakam right now has all the gravity in his hands, which is the ball. The minute he passes to Scotty,
But he's
Dylan
not
Brooks is
looking at
gonna.
Scotty.
I
Like
know, but he should be.
he
And
makes this right, but like he makes this move before he even sees Scotty. And by the time
yeah,
he sees Scotty, he's at the fucking rim, and there's a 7-footer waiting for him. Which again, Luca would have just behind the pass, bounce past it for a dunk. But he don't have that in his game.
I think yeah, exactly. And I think like Scotty does the right thing of sort of getting out of the way, but it's a little bit too
Yeah,
late. And it's sort of it's weird
but
because
that's because Siakam went too early, though.
if that feels like a very recurring theme in all of these plays. It
Yes.
seems like you.
He said, "Uh-oh, cookies." Here we go.
And I like how the guy fell.
Mm.
Love
No
it.
foul? They
That's
didn't
what.
call a foul?
Hey, two-way player, don't get fouls.
That's true. Let me see.
But that is damn that he could have sold the contact more. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, look that
If
great.
De'Aaron Fox don't get that call, this guy ain't gonna get in that call. You're right. Let me see. Where is he at? Uh-oh, here we go. Junior. Ah. I was slick.
Are you just looking at all the Dowtin possessions?
Yeah. Scottie Barnes. Made field goal. Let's go to the made. Okay. This is the
Is there
third
a way to
quarter.
see all of them broken down the way Malachi's were? Go down. Dun
Yes.
dun 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 dun. Okay, fourth quarter, 8, 9, 9, 18. There we go.
Okay, dribble handoff. Good roll, Scotty. Good roll, Scotty. See, guys who roll get rewarded. Great stuff by
In an
Malachi
ideal
there.
world, they do.
Yeah, well, unless you play on the Raptors. But oh, oh yeah, this is what we just watched. Right, Scotty gets a put back. 8 minutes left. They're down by 11. This point they're down by 12. This is when he already went back into the game, I think.
No, that's Boucher still.
Oh yeah, it's Boucher still. Hmm. Good roll, Scotty. Good roll, Scotty. See, guys who roll get rewarded. Good job, Scotty. Let me see. He missed the easy pass there. He swings it
Jaron
back to
Jackson Jr.
Lillard.
probably had a lot to do with that. I don't think he really missed it. He just tried to throw it and he couldn't.
Oof,
And he
that's
puts body into Steven Adams. I wish he'd done that more tonight. He could attack him. He got
mm,
the step on him, and there's a fuller context here of just how the Raptors played when Siakam wasn't sucking up so much of the offense. And I think, in terms of heliocentrism, I realize this is not prototypically like or like by the definition heliocentrism, like how Trey Young and Luka plays a little bit different than how Siakam's playing right now. But to dominate this many possessions, you do have a responsibility to your teammates to, create and generate very efficient shots. And I don't think Siakam generates necessarily the greatest shots for his teammates. And, people like Will Liu and people who cover this team are going to tell you he's the only reason this offense hasn't fallen off a cliff. And I would tell you that when he's not on the court, when he's not playing, when he's out for 9, 10 games, you often see that those reps, are replaced by effectively other players.
mhm.
And the Raptors are probably a little bit worse off for it, but you would expect to be worse without a player this good. What I think is that there's a middle ground here where there's a very good player here in Pascal Siakam, very good player, top 20, unarguably, in my opinion, top 20 player, who could be used in a far more dynamic, efficient, and unpredictable way for your offense to thrive better. If you're gonna, if you're gonna build this type of team, you need a better player. To be honest, the point blank. If you're gonna play like if you're gonna play like you have Luka, you better have someone really damn close to Luka, and this isn't it. And to charge a guy to make this many decisions, and of course, Nick Nurse is going to say this is assertiveness, this is aggressiveness, this is what we want, and it's like, yeah, but now you're not activating the rest of your offense, and this is
Yeah.
not how basketball works. But you know how this does look like? This looks a lot like those Rico Hines runs, doesn't it?
Yes, a lot.
And
A
that's the
lot.
problem. And
Yeah.
that's the problem because at the end of the day, this is how those Rico Hines runs worked, but that is
Yep.
not like how actual
NBA
basketball,
basketball
NBA
works.
at the NBA level, or even fuck, if I saw Florida State, the Seminoles play like this, I would be disturbed at
Yeah.
what the hell is Leonard Hamilton doing in Florida State. This is not an NBA offense. This
Yep.
is not a college offense. I would be surprised to see this type of offense being run in JUCO ball. To be honest, this is bad. Like
Yeah.
this is community college, YMCA. We have one guy. You have no way to stop him, except the other team does have a way to stop him. Clear out, let him go to work. This is, oh my God, this is everything I hated about early 2000s basketball. And by the way, guys, this is why scoring was so low in the early 2000s because teams played like this. The teams don't play like this anymore. And when you bump into teams like Boston, Milwaukee, you bump into teams that play a better, more evolved style of basketball, you lose 8 out of 10 times. And when you work out the odds of how many teams are better than us right now, losing 8 out of 10 times means it's a lottery season. And I mean, so
You know what's funny? And I'm not gonna blame Rico because Rico's a friend of mine, but um you say that with a grain of salt, right? Like they're playing like the Rico Hines runs, and then last year the Kings were playing the exact same way. He moves on to Toronto, and now we're playing a completely different way. Like I'm not I don't want to start any like 'cause again Rico's a friend of mine, but geez, like that's crazy to think about.
Well, Rico Hines is one of the biggest influences on Pascal Siakam, and I can tell you from
Yeah,
knowing a
he
few
is.
from knowing a
He
few NBA
loves him.
players how much their trainers mean to them. Like I'll give you an example. Like let's say I know player Y. Well, after a game like where he shoots poorly, he's gonna text his trainer and say, "What are we working on tomorrow?" And they'll go through the film session in addition to what the team is going to do with them in the general film session where maybe the whole team concepts are being and coaches are sometimes very hesitant to be like, this was your fault, this was your fault in team sessions. They're gonna sugarcoat it because it's a group environment, and you're
Yes.
not going to be like, Gary,
Yep.
you're a shit defender, Gary, you're a shit defender. So if
Right.
anyone's ever wondered what those film sessions
That's how
in
it
an
is.
NBA circle look like,
Very
trust
PC.
me, there's a lot of kid gloves on, there's a lot of egos, and these private conversations, they happen in some organizations, but not all organizations. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's very possible that as Rudy Gay was disrupting and ruining our offense for all those
Mm-hmm.
months, that he literally heard nothing about it from the coaches, probably nothing about it in film sessions. And trainers, though, they do have a one-on-one relationship with the player. They will go and break down their plays. Tim Grover, trainer for Kobe Bryant, was Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. You know, he did a lot of work with them. He would chart out all their steps and stuff. So I know player X has a trainer. After a bad game where he shoots poorly, he's going to go to that trainer and be like, give me my shot chart. What do I need to work on? How do I need to attack this type of coverage the next time I see it? And all this stuff is going to be there. If you have a trainer like Rico Hines, and I don't know Rico Hines. I've never met Rico Hines. He's Leo's friend because he was in Sacramento for a while. So this is not
Yeah.
me throwing shade on Rico Hines. I think he's a hell of a person, and I have been a long advocate
Great
for him
person. Yes.
and Earl Watson as genuinely like really great men who care about the men that they're coaching. Just to put that out there, just from the vibe that I've gathered. However, if you have a certain philosophy of basketball and you are now telling the players that you're training and now coaching about assertiveness and aggressiveness, etc., and you have this type of charm and charisma that Rico does, then that message may drown out other messages. That's how I see it. I don't know how fair you think that is, Leo, but like they may go to Rico when Nick Nurse or Earl Watson or somebody else,
Mm.
and they may see him as a more credible guy. He also got a head start on them. They may see him as the good guy, whereas Nick Nurse
Yeah.
is the bad guy. And this dynamic can exist in coaching staffs. I know that Nick Nurse
Yeah.
had a similar relationship. Some would probably say that's a hot take right now, but when he was kind of coaching the bench mob up and Dwayne Casey was coaching the main squad, like I'm sure that they had their disagreements as well because those two squads, the first unit and second unit, played so
Was
differently.
Nick he was the associate coach, right? Or was he like the offensive
Assistant,
coordinator or
he
the
was the assistant coach and I believe he was the
was he a
offensive
offensive
coordinator.
coordinator?
I think so.
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's super interesting that he brought in somebody else to run the offense when
Yeah, and I
he
mean like
was the
he's done
offensive
it. He's done
coordinator.
it really well. I mean, he's always been like he swaps roles with his assistants. I don't know how out there that is, but he will actually go to Adrian Griffin and be like, "Okay, well, you're handling this," and
Yeah.
Scariolo, who was on the
There's
staff, he'll be
coaches
like,
like yeah, there's coaches like that. That
yeah, and
empower.
they're trying to empower and grow the
Yeah.
coaches underneath them, and if I had a blossoming coach like Earl Watson on my bench, I would be trying
Yeah.
to grow him too. But at the end of the day, I think that the runs maybe have done more harm than good
Yeah.
for a lot of players. Look, I've always felt like a lot of that shit that we used to do when we would play pickup ball on the streets, it was ISO one on one, go attack your man, attack the mismatch. Guy scores on you, you got to score back on him. A lot of the habits that I see the Raptors play with, they remind me of the way we used to play on the pickup. We used to play pickup ball, and what would drive our coaches insane in high school and on the university level would be like when you start playing like that in structured basketball, because structured basketball and organized offenses and whatever are designed to basically scheme that shit out. You can't play like that.